New details this morning from upstate New York, where asylum seekers in New York City are being sent. The state Supreme Court is temporarily blocking New York City from sending any more migrants to that area. 186 asylum seekers who have already been moved into hotels will still be allowed to stay. More than 24 U.S. veterans were kicked out of their hotels to make room for the migrants. According to reports, hotels can make more money housing migrants than they can housing veterans. Other areas are also impacted by the migrant crisis. One shelter in Buffalo, New York, has already taken in as many people this year as it did in all of 2022. Our News Nation team is there speaking to immigrants about their journey from Central America all the way to the Canadian border. Evan Lambert's live in Buffalo with those stories. Good morning, Evan.
Good morning, Mitch. Every bed is full at a shelter here in Buffalo. Traditionally, asylum seekers have headed here for a shot at asylum in Canada, just over the border. But because of recent changes, more of them are going to seek to stay here in the U.S. That shelter is known as Vive. It has space for 120 people. With the overflow spaces right now, they're serving about 170. That's 40%, more than 40% over capacity. We are about 2,000 miles from the southern border. Shelter officials telling me that in recent months, with surges in migration through Mexico and new arrivals bused from New York City, as you mentioned, there is no more room here. That tracks with a record number of border apprehensions in the days and weeks before the expiration of the pandemic-era health rule Title 42. We spoke to one couple who ended up with their sons, 10 and 13, in Buffalo. They came from Colombia. They paid thousands of dollars to a smuggler and faced harsh conditions getting to the southern border. We're not showing their faces, so their asylum claims are not compromised in any way. They told us their story through an interpreter. But first, you'll hear from the chief program officer at the nonprofit that runs the shelter, Vive. Listen.
We have been the fullest that we've ever been. We said that all of last year, and already this year, we have basically helped the same number of people as we helped last year.
Once they started to receive the threats, they were experiencing so much fear. They heard about people being taken hostage, women being raped, and so at that point, they had to do whatever they could to get out of there as fast as they could.
And so the shelter may have a little bit more help with capacity. They are moving to a bigger facility, larger, and it'll help them keep families together, about 60% larger. That will be sometime this year. Adrian, Mitch?
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.